What is going on, people of the internet? I am Zach, and welcome back to Talking in Microphones. This week on Talking in Microphones, I want to talk about Chance the Rapper, acid rap versus Coloring Book. Now, a few weeks ago, I was out on the town. It was a pretty average night, honestly. Not gonna lie, pretty average night, not too great. So average that the highlight of my night was waiting in line to get food at the end of the night when I ran into an old friend from school. Now, I haven't been to high school for a few years at this point. I haven't talked to this guy since being in high school, so it can be a little awkward at times running into people that you used to be friends with that you're just out of touch with now. Luckily though, I was wearing my acid rap t-shirt, and I didn't know this at the time, but apparently he's big into Chance as well. So we got to talking about that. At which point he turned to his friend and pointed out my shirt, and then his friend went on to say, "Now get this right. This is legit. This is a real person in real life that has said this. This is the first time this has ever happened to me." He goes, "Coloring book is better." This is a real human being in the real world that thinks coloring book is better than acid rap, and he's into rap. Now, look, this is why I do this show, because I don't know many people in real life that are into the same shit as me. So when someone comes along and says coloring book is better than acid rap, when my whole life being in online forums, the kind of typically the way this goes is everyone thinks acid rap is better than coloring book. So I was a little taken back. So I got home, drunk, then I went to work the next day, then finally I had some time off, and I was still thinking about it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna listen to them both, see if my opinion has changed, because coloring book originally, it's a fine project. After listening to this, it is a fine project. I was kind of against it to begin with, but it is good. There's a lot of good features, honestly. A lot of good features in coloring book. There's a lot of mainstream features, but they are definitely good. I was harder on acid rap. I was harder on coloring book than I was on acid rap. But it's definitely better than I'm giving it credit for. I still prefer acid rap over coloring book though. I don't know if it's just because like acid rap was the first Chance project I listened to, so it's got a special place in my heart. But like, coloring book has this real gospel sound that I'm just not into, I guess. I never grew up around gospel music. We're not that sort of family. So to me, it doesn't hold that special place in my heart. But you know, the beats on acid rap are just so off kilter and weird. Like they're just so much more different to the gospel tracks. A lot of coloring book sticks to that sort of gospel sound, and I don't vibe with it. But the off kilter flow and beats on acid rap are just far more interesting to me. And he's got that weird like nasally voice that he kind of lost on coloring book. I don't know why, but he kind of lost his sort of more unique sound. Because no one really sounds like Chance, honestly. But on coloring book, I feel like he was just rapping with the features, you know, because he comes across sounding like Future occasionally, and especially with that track with Jay Electronica, he sounds a lot like Jay. Coloring book definitely has more of a like uplifting, good vibe to it than acid rap. I guess that's just because of the nature of where Chance is at in his career now versus then. Because acid rap is it's dark. There's a lot of dark themes, whereas coloring book was more positive, more feel good for the most part. There's a couple of tracks in there like Same Drugs. Nothing positive or uplifting about Same Drugs, which is probably my favorite song off a coloring book. But for the most part, I feel, you know, Chance has got his life together now. He's quit the drugs, he's got a kid, he's got a family, he's doing a lot of positive stuff in his community. So it's definitely a little more uplifting, and it definitely shows growth as not only his sound but him as a person. Like I feel this is a very logical next step for him. Looking back on it, especially after that Kanye West feature on Ultralight Beam, which actually sounds like it should be on this album, not Kanye's album. But after that, I feel like this is definitely a sort of organic next step in his career, and it makes me excited going forward, because coming into coloring book, I would have expected acid rap 2, honestly, and not getting acid rap 2 makes me wonder, where do we go from here? Like, what happens next? Like, when did this come out? This came out 18 months ago now, so we're probably not due for another Chance project for another year, which makes me excited, because I don't know where he's gonna go. I just hope he doesn't keep preaching about, you know, God, and oh look, I don't have a label, guys, look how independent I am. Yeah, we get it now, we get it, we don't need... Please don't jam the independent thing down my throat anymore. It's cool you're independent, But I lose a little respect for someone who claims independence, then goes ahead and takes $1 million exclusivity deal with Apple, honestly. So none of that. While we're talking about the whole preachy thing though, I feel like acid rap was a better blend. There's a bit of comedy in Coloring Book, but the blend between comedy and serious nature in acid rap is far better. It strikes a far better chord than anything on Coloring Book. And it's just real. Acid rap is just so more experimental, and it's weird. It's experimental, but it's also catchy. This is what experimental hip hop should sound like. It's experimental hip hop that I could show to someone who's not into experimental hip hop. Like, I can't put on a Death Grips album to someone who's only used to listening to Drake. You know, they're not gonna get it. It's just gonna be too, like, abrasive to them. But this acid rap, I feel, is a good gateway into that stuff. And I feel like a lot of that, again, it was lost on Coloring Book. A lot of the flavor of acid rap that I loved was just lost on Coloring Book. Even though I like Coloring Book, it's just no acid rap. And on a song-to-song basis, I just flicked through my phone before just to have a quick check of if there's anything that slipped through the cracks on the song-to-song basis. But there's a lot of misses on Coloring Book. There really is a lot of misses. I only really fuck with a handful of tracks. Like Same Drugs. Same Drugs is honestly probably my favorite Chance song, so I can't talk too much shit about Coloring Book if it gave me my favorite Chance song. But aside from Same Drugs, it's really only No Problems, Angels, and Mixtape. I do like Mixtape. I don't know, Mixtape gets a lot of hate, probably rightfully so, but honestly, Yachty and Thugger, I kind of fuck with them on that tape. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. I don't like Yachty, any of his stuff. I kind of like some of Thugger stuff, but even Yachty on this track, he was totally fine. I had no problems with it. I mean, it's a little ironic now that they're rapping about mixtapes and they've all put out albums since then. So, except Chance, but the rest of them put out full-on albums since then, which is a little ironic. But yeah, honestly, I kind of fuck with Mixtape. But then when you look at acid rap, there's so much good shit in acid rap. Pusha Man's great. Cocoa Butter Kisses are great. Juice is great. Lost is great. Favorite Song is great. These are all great tracks. Acid rap is one of those albums that I can put on, listen to top to back. Where Coloring Book, I just can't get through most of the gospel stuff, honestly. Like, what's the song with Jay Electronica again? I forget what that's called, but that one. Great verse by Chance, great verse by Jay, but I can't sit through 3 minutes of gospel choir-y shit to get to that verse. I just won't do it. I think, here's what I can say about Coloring Book. It probably has acid rap bet out in terms of features. Although there's a lot of good features I like on acid rap. Like, I like Gambino, I like No Name. Was Saba on that? I don't think Saba was on acid rap. He was on Coloring Book. I don't think Saba was on acid rap. But BJ Chicago Kid, Action Bronson, these are all phenomenal additions to acid rap. Everything, honestly, all the features on acid rap are good except fucking Absol. That is such an average Absol verse. I can't believe that either of them thought that was going to be a good idea. That is unbelievably one of the worst features on any tape at all. And you know, we know that Coloring Book features were definitely way more mainstream, probably rightfully so. He definitely needed some mainstream appeal, Chance, to break in, because Chance gets radio play now, which is great, good for him. But it's hard to tell your friends to listen to a mixtape when you can only tell them, yeah, oh yeah, fucking sick Action Bronson feature, and they're like, what the fuck's Action Bronson? He's not a real thing. But it's definitely way easier to be like, oh yeah, he's got this Kanye West feature and this Lil Wayne feature. Yeah, it's good stuff. People are going to be way more receptive to mainstream features than they are just to no names. Honestly, no names. No one in the mainstream knows much about Action Bronson or No Name, honestly. So all in all, even though I like Coloring Book in parts, acid rap just is the better album, or the better mixtape still. I still think that. But you know, either way, they're both fine. No matter which one you like more, I think we can both agree, whether you're an acid rap boy or a Coloring Book boy, we can all safely agree that we're both wrong. Clearly Chance's best work is Surf with Donnie Trumpet and The Social Experiment. Pure genius, that album. Pure genius. And on that bombshell, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I am Zach. This has been Talking in Microphones, a Wet Duck production. And until next time, you can follow us on Twitter at Wet Duck Productions. And until next time, farewell.